Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. First off, can you tell which side of my face is drugstore and which is high-end? I would love to read in the comments what you think before we get started. Today I am sharing 10 amazing drugstore dupes and alternatives for high-end and luxury products. I have some great products in this video. I'm really excited. Let's go ahead and get started. This is one of my favorite blushes of all time. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blush in the shade Ecstasy. It's very flattering and face brightening, and if you guessed the high-end side was this one, you would be correct. So this is actually another favorite blush of mine, and I just didn't realize they were dupes until recently. This is the Rimmel Maxi blush in the shade Third Base. I really cannot tell a difference on my face. They both have that really flattering pinky coral tone. They're both face brightening. They both have a sheen to them that is flattering. No sparkle, no glitter, but the Rimmel blush gives me the same shade as Ecstasy when I just blend both of these shades together. Aside from the lipstick that I have reapplied, I've had this makeup on quite a long time today already, and it's looking good. This new powder from Gucci is a hot product right now for good reason. It's great for all skin types. It doesn't look like powder when I apply it to my dry textured under eyes or to my oily combination skin on the rest of my face. It sets my makeup beautifully and it lasts a long time on the skin, and there are multiple shades to choose from. I choose a light shade so that it appears translucent on the skin. It's just a truly beautiful, undetectable product if you want to set your makeup but not look like you're wearing powder. The CoverGirl Clean Fresh powder sets my makeup under my eyes that are dry textured and to my oily combination skin perfectly, just like the Gucci powder. Not everyone can spend this kind of money on Gucci. It's a luxury product. It is beautiful. Also, Gucci has kind of a scent to it. It's very light and undetectable once it's on the skin, but some people really don't like that. CoverGirl is cruelty-free. It's less expensive. There's no scent to it. It's a beautiful powder. It's a great alternative dupe product for Gucci. This has been a luxury cream bronzer favorite of mine for a while that I have consistently said is worth the money. This is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. There are a lot of people that really love this cream bronzer because it applies so smoothly and evenly and just looks gorgeous on the skin. But I feel like everyone, including myself, that loves this says the same thing. They wish that this bronzer was available by itself because we like this a lot more than the highlighter that's in here. Plus, it's a luxury product. It's Tom Ford. It's going to cost you a pretty penny. Now, this is an affordable alternative product that's not from the drugstore, but it's a lot less expensive than Tom Ford. This is the Persona Bronze Multi-Stick in the shade Sahara or Sahara, however you like to say that. The first time I applied this, I thought the shade was pretty spot on, and then I looked at them and I thought the same thing, and then I applied them to each half of my face just on my own before this video, and I was like, yes, we have a dupe alternative. My definition of a dupe is a product that the end result just gets you there, you know? It doesn't have to be in the exact same format, and that is what this does. I mean, it gets you there, it's a lot less expensive, and this is actually easier because you can apply it straight from the stick and it blends out super, super easily. Or you can take your brush directly on the stick and then apply it to your face. Whatever your preference is, it blends out beautifully, it wears beautifully. There's nothing not to like about this, and the price point is so much better than Tom Ford. I have several lip products in this video, so let's talk about the first one. This is a very popular lip product from Charlotte Tilbury. It is the Pillow Talk Lip Pencil. There have been a lot of dupes out there for this, and I feel like most of them that I have tried have been a lot cooler of a pink, a lot brighter of a pink than Pillow Talk. So I've always been a little bit disappointed by those dupes because on my lips anyway, the dupe just never reads the same as Pillow Talk. There's a significant difference, and I finally found one that is a closer dupe, and I really love the formula. This is the Kokie Retractable Lip Liner in the shade Pink Mauve. Now you're going to see a little bit more of a sheen to the lips, which I personally prefer because it's a little bit creamier than the Charlotte Tilbury. But when all is said and done, I do not see much of a difference between these two lip liners. If you're wanting to save a lot of money, I am really loving the formula of these Kokie lip liners. And I'm pretty particular about my lip liner formula. They have to be creamy and glide on and help my lipsticks last a decent amount of time, you know, not wear off too quickly. And these do that. Loving this shade. I think it's a great dupe for Pillow Talk. I was going through my eyeshadow palettes the other day and I came across this original KK Beauty palette. I think it's called the Classic palette now, but when I first got it, it was the only KKW Beauty palette, and so there's no name on the back of mine. This is a really pretty palette. It's just so wearable and the formula is really great, but I was looking at it and realizing that this palette right here, it just seems like you'd be able to get the same looks from it. This is the ColourPop Bare Necessities palette, one of my personal favorites. So you can see from the swatches here that I was in fact able to get the same shades. Now I don't have this on my eyes today because I have something else on my eyes that I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. So not only are you going to spend a lot less money on the ColourPop palette, but you're going to be able to get a much wider variety of looks because you have so many more shades. The quality of this palette is phenomenal. If you love neutrals, you could exist with only this palette and be just fine. So I did my swatches straight across, and on the top you have the KKW palette, on the bottom you have the ColourPop palette. I just did these two, then these two, and so on. And that was the order that I went in. Now for the first shade, I blended Idle Hour and the Talk. You don't have to do that. You can get pretty close with just Idle Hour, but I just wanted to be as exact as possible. The second is Tease Me. The third, I blended Hot Gossip and Tease Me. The fourth is All For You. The fifth is Hot or Hot. How do you say that? I feel like everybody says it differently. The next one is Fuzzy. The next is Tabloid. The next is Act a Fool, and I topped it with a little bit of Haute just to give it a little bit more warmth. Next, I have Genie, and I topped it with a little bit of Fuzzy, and I combined Act a Fool and Taboo for the last. It's so easy to dip your brush or your finger back and forth between shades, and I was just being very precise. You don't have to do that. You can get just as close of a look without combining shades, but if you're wanting a look that you could get from this palette, I think you would be just fine going with ColourPop Bare Necessities. This palette gives you such a variety and the quality is there. It just wears so well. You can save quite a bit of money and get way more of a variety with ColourPop Bare Necessities. I have another bronzer for you. This time it's in powder form. It's another Charlotte Tilbury product. There's quite a few Charlotte Tilbury products in this video. It wasn't my intention. I just happened to find a lot of Charlotte Tilbury dupes and they ended up in this video. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the shade 2 Medium. That is what is on this side of my face. This is a beautiful formula. It's very nice and subtle if you like that type of bronzer. And I've had this Milani Silky Matte bronzing powder in the shade Suntan for a while and pulled it out the other day to wear it and was thinking how much it reminded me of the Charlotte Tilbury, and I did the same thing that I did with my other cream bronzer I showed in the video. I applied half and half and realized I could not tell the difference in finish or in wear. I just think they are so comparable to each other. I mean, can you tell the difference? I just cannot. I love this Milani formula. If you're not wanting to spend the coin on Charlotte Tilbury, you would do just fine getting this Milani bronzer in the shade Suntan. This is one of my favorite luxury lip shades. It's the shade Adrian from Chanel. I just think it's such a beautiful nude cut with a little bit of pink so that it's not too brown. And the formula is really nice and creamy. A very similar shade is L'Oreal Color Riche Shine in Glossy Fawn. Particularly if you put some kind of a lip liner underneath, I really cannot tell a difference. I even think Glossy Fawn is a little bit shinier. They're both very creamy and neither one is a long wearing formula, but I do think Adrian wears a little bit longer than Glossy Fawn, but gosh, they both feel really good on the lips and they're just a nice flattering shade. Now on this eye, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in the shade Jean. It's been renamed to something else since I got mine. I'll have that name listed in the description box, what it's renamed now, along with everything else I'm talking about and what I'm wearing, as I always do. This formula is so unique. It's very moussey and light. You can build it it up or kind of sheer it out. This particular shade is kind of this light golden champagne that I really love to sheer out because it gives this kind of, I don't know, ethereal look that kind of brightens the eye a little bit. So Burt's Bees just came out with a new cream eyeshadow formula called Color Nurture. The shade Caramel Buttercream is the shade that I have on this eye. Now the formulas are not quite exact, so I would call this a dupe slash alternative. So for the Charlotte Tilbury, I kind of like to press swipe it on and I'll kind of buff it out with a brush. With this, I like to tap it on and tap it out, and then I'll kind of apply a second layer if I feel like it. There's no need for me to sheer this one out because it's already kind of a slicker, moussier formula, if that makes sense. But in the end, I get a very similar look. I mean, I really can't tell a difference. I do apply both over an eyeshadow primer that I don't set with powder or anything. With doing that, it keeps them from creasing. They both wear very well, and the shades are pretty spot on. I've been out of the house today. I haven't been looked at weird, like I'm wearing two different colors on my eyes. So, you know, to me, that's a good sign. And what I love about both of these formulas is that they're comfortable and I don't feel like they're unflattering. They don't dry down into something that crinkles up my eyelids or emphasizes, you know, my age. So this is more of a dupe confirmation. I've been asked to show this, to try it, just to let you guys know if I agree, but I didn't want to be repetitive because I know this has been shown in other dupes videos, but at the same time, I know not everyone watches all of these other dupes videos, so there are probably people out there that don't know this exists. So I am putting it in this video for those of you that haven't seen this before or that just want to know for sure if it is in fact a dupe. This is the Fenty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fussy. I love these gloss bombs. I love the texture. I love how big the wand is. I love the scent. They just have that sweet scent. It kind of reminds me of, you know, a lollipop or something. These just have the substance to them that stays on the lips, but it's not tacky. They just feel good. These are a really great gloss formula that I enjoy. So this is the Maybelline The Lifter Gloss in the shade Moon, and it is in fact a dupe for Fenty Gloss Bomb in Fussy. The shades are spot on. This also has the big doe foot. It has that same substance without being sticky. It's very nourishing. Now, this is the first lifter gloss that doesn't have a sweet smell to it. I've gotten that comment before when I have talked about these or duped these in other videos, and I have talked about how these also have a sweet scent, just like these. And some of you have talked about how you didn't like the scent of these. This one doesn't have a sweet scent to it. So now I'm wondering if the different colors have different scents of the Maybelline Lifter Glosses, because my Topaz and my Amber shades smell really nice, and this one just kind of has a weird scent to it. I mean, it's not off-putting, but as far as the product texture, the product color, the product wear, that is spot on. You know, I'm pretty picky about color correctors for underneath my eyes here on my channel because I have a very textured dry under eye area, and anything I put underneath my eyes needs to be pretty nourishing, hydrating, and it has to wear pretty well. I've had kind of a hard time with drugstore products because I find a lot of them to be very drying underneath the eyes, and I've tried what I feel like is pretty much everything out there. So on the left side, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Corrector in shade 2 Medium. I love this product. It's great. It almost seems like it's going to be drying until it kind of hits the warmth of your fingers and melds with the skin, but it does a great job of correcting underneath my concealer. So Flower Beauty came out with a corrector. Did you know that? I didn't know that until I was just messing around on the website, came across it, decided to order it. I wasn't sure what shade to get, so I did end up getting the shade Light Peach. I just thought medium might be a little bit deep, and I'm glad that I got the shade that I did. Now, I will say this is an alternative because it doesn't have quite the same creaminess of the Charlotte Tilbury, but it does correct well and it does wear well. So what I usually do if I am wearing this is dab a little bit more eye cream on right before I apply it. Yes, I've already done my eye cream during my skincare step. I'll just put a little bit more on, pat it in, or I'll take some on my finger and then dab my finger in here so it kind of combines with the product and then dab it on, just so that this has a little bit more creaminess to it so it's not so drying. It's not terrible, it's just not quite as creamy as the Charlotte Tilbury. I just kind of have to doctor it up a little bit. I feel like with a little tweaking, it could have been a little bit better, but it's not as drying as some of the other drugstore correctors that I've tried, and like I said, does wear well. I feel like today is not a great day to be sharing this under eye stuff because I did not get a lot of sleep last night. So I feel like I'm looking a little extra creasy and dry, but trust me, it's actually a really great product if you kind of tweak it a little bit. Now, if you don't have any dryness issues underneath your eyes, you may really love this. I think a lot of people will be gravitating towards this actually. What is your favorite dupe from this video? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you have not seen my May monthly favorites and fails, I had so many great products in there. I'll have that video linked here for you. And I have an entire dupes playlist with other dupes videos I'll also have linked here for you. Hit that subscribe button and become part of the family if you are not already, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.